Hi, this is Sanjayem Gangalom from AECCafé. I'm here with Hans-Martin Zogg, Business Director, Total Stations at Leica Geosystems, which is part of Hexagon. Hello, Hans-Martin.
Hi, Sanjay. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us about the Leica AP20 AutoPole.
Well, the Leica AP20 AutoPole is an absolutely unique solution, which we have just announced a couple of days ago. The AP20 is unique. It boosts up the productivity of our total station users and is absolutely easy to use. When we develop products, solutions at Leica Geosystems, we always want to address actually customer challenges, customer problems which occur today when they do their work. And with the AP20, we actually address three main customer challenges which occur today when customers as well as users using total stations in the total station workflow. The first challenge is when you measure with total stations, actually you need to hold the prism pole always vertical. So this slows up the measurement process. It's, I don't know if you have tried by yourself that as well, but every surveyor knows that he needs to level the level bubble and brings the bubble into the center so that the pole is exactly vertical, and then he can measure its speed. But it's also limiting the measurement area because you always set up the pole over a point which you want to measure, and if you have an obstacle above, you cannot measure the point. So this verticality of the pole is a big challenge today. The second challenge which we are going to address with our AP20 AutoPole is actually the automatic pole height reading. Respectively, today, when you measure the pole height, you always need to enter it manually into the field software. And that's very error prone and can cause quite cumbersome and time consuming post-processing. And if you can actually fix it in a post-processing, you might be even lucky. Quite often you need to go again into the field and redo your measurements. And the third challenge which we are going to address with the AP20 is that it can happen, especially when you have several surveying crews working on the same deck, same site at the same spot, that the total station locks onto the wrong target. And this we are going to address as well with the AP20. So the AP20 addresses these three customer challenges with its three features, functionalities like the tilt compensation, the automatic pole height reading, as well as the unique target ID.
Okay, so I think you mentioned the challenges and that led you to design this and create this new AutoPole, so I'm assuming it has addressed all of these three challenges. And what benefits does this automated solution provide to the industry professionals in the daily workflow?
Exactly. The AP20 addresses these three main challenges: the pole verticality, the pole height reading, as well as the target ID in one product. We have different variants of the product, but the full solution actually addresses all three in one product. And the benefits, for the tilt compensation for our customers is, speed. It does not need anymore to level the pole, so it speeds up the measurement process. So time savings over the day. It's also extending the measurement range. So means you can now, with a tilted pole, measure much more points, much more objects than you couldn't measure before. I mean, just imagine just measuring the edge of a house today is not so easy because you cannot level the pole at the edge of a house when you might want to measure that. And now with the tilt pole, you just can put the pole tip to that edge and it gets measured by the total station. So it's speed, you can measure more points. And another important aspect is as well safety. Safety, whether this is on the construction site or whether this is along a busy road, I mean, when you have to focus on the level bubble, you focus on the level bubble, but you should actually focus where you walk, or maybe you have a lot of traffic, so you need to be careful where you walk. And now with removing the level bubble, you can focus on where you walk, or as well on the traffic, and due to the speed increase, you can actually leave a dangerous site even quicker than before. So that's the advantage for the tilt compensation. Now, when we come to the automatic pole height reading, I mean, as a surveyor, when you work day long, you experience quite often that you have, we call it line of sight interruption. When you measure with the total station, you always need a line of sight between the total station and the prism. Now it can happen that, for instance, a car drives by, or you have a bush where you need to measure behind the bush. And for this, you need to adjust the pole height. So your reflector height changes. And now, as said before, today you need to enter it manually, and often it can happen that you forget it. With the AP20, you just adjust the pole height, and everything is done automatically for you. So it gets updated in the software directly. Means speeds up the process, but it's much less error prone, and removes the cumbersome, time-consuming post-processing. And even today, I mean, when you measure with total stations, you have two setups. You measure robotically. That means a one-person setup, so you can steer the total station robotically, and it follows your prism. You're at the pole side. And then you are even today a little bit better on the control which pole height you enter. But quite often, surveyors out in the field, they measure in the so-called two-person mode. So we have two persons. One person stands at the total station, the other person stands at the pole. Now the trouble starts when the person at the pole side changes the pole height. He needs somehow to communicate that to the person at the total station. And either he probably shouts, or he uses a walkie-talkie. But on busy construction side, loud roads, loud construction side, it's difficult to transmit these values. So again, very error prone, and this gets solved with the AP20. Okay. Last but not least, the target ID. Here, with the target ID functionality of the AP20, we ensure as well on busy construction site, and several crews are on site, that the total station really locks onto your target, and you can continue with your layout, with your measurements, and ensure that the total stations measures on the right target.
Okay, and in the press release, I did notice that you also mentioned that you're able to lock into a foreign target on a site with multiple reflectors. So tell us about that.
You probably mean you are now able to, that we can lock in onto your target, even though if you have multiple reflectors standing around. I mean, today, a total station sends out a laser. And it's wherever is a target, it gets reflected, and the total station needs to know, is this now my target, or the wrong target, which I need to ignore. And now in combination with this unique target ID, which we have on the AP20, the total station reflects that signal as well, and it knows, that's my target, and it locks onto the target where it should, despite as well there are other targets, other moving targets around on site. And we have that often, as I said before, on construction sites, on decks, when they build large houses. Time is critical, and often these contractors which are working there, they measure with several total stations, several crews work in parallel, and therefore it's very crucial that the crew is as much productive as possible, and therefore the target ID helps them to find and lock quicker onto their target.
And how does the AP20 AutoPole complement the Leica Geosystems existing total station portfolio?
The Leica AP20 AutoPole can be used together with our latest generation of total stations, the TS16, MS60, TS60. So by having a software upgrade, our customers are also able to use the equipment which they have bought a couple of years ago. So it's an upgrade to the existing one, but as well, for sure, I mean, if you buy a new total station, you can immediately use it together with the AP20. So it complements the total station portfolio and makes it as a very smart solution, total stations together with the unique AutoPole solution.
Okay, and what is the best way for our audience to find out more about AP20 AutoPole on the internet?
I mean, please visit our website, www.leica-geosystems.com. And there you find all the information about AutoPole. You find also interviews or expert insights where our experts talk about the AP20 in more depth, in a more technical way, how the AP20 works. And yes, that's the best way to get additional and more information about the AP20.
Yeah. And Hans Martin, is it okay if I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Sure, yeah.
So what do you do for fun outside work, or what is your personal passion?
My personal passion, I mean, I have a family. I have 2 kids. So they take quite a lot of time for me when I'm outside of work. But I have 2 other passions. And my first passion is skiing. I love to ski. I'm Swiss, so every Swiss can ski. And I love to ski in wintertime. And in summer or springtime, now it starts, I love to do mountain bike tours as well as I do race bikes, road biking. So these are my 2 passions. And I try now with my kids as well to do these passions together so that we can do them as a family together. That's
and how old are your kids?
My kids are, my daughter is getting 4 very soon, and my son is 8.
Wow.
So I need to
age.
catch up with skiing, so he gets almost faster than me very soon.
And what are your favorite ski destinations?
I like most eastern part of Switzerland, the Engadin. Maybe you've heard the most famous cities there, St. Moritz. So I go a little bit close to that, and it's gorgeous. Very good snow, as well as nice mountains.
Okay. Can you also tell us something about yourself, Hans Martin, that most people at Leica Geosystems who work with you don't know about you?
And yeah. Actually, they know a lot about me, but maybe what they don't know is I started to brew beer. During the lockdown, COVID actually made that. We got a group in the village where I live, and we started together once in a while to brew our own beer and drink our own beer. So that got a little bit a passion within the last, I would say, very few years. And this, I guess, I don't know everyone yet in the company.
I would love to taste your beer. What type of beer do you brew?
Yeah, it's actually, it was our first one was very good. We did an amber. It was so good so that we did not know, shall we do another one or not? So we decided to do an API now. That was good as well. And now we see what comes next. But it makes fun to brew in a group. So it's an evening event.
And finally, one simple question: cats or dogs?
Cats. I have a cat at home, so cats. It's almost self-maintaining. You don't need to do a lot. So just give a little bit to eat, and the rest is the cat doing by herself.
That's true. That's true. What type of cat do you have?
Oh, we call it a street mix. I don't know. It's any kind of mix. It looks like a little bit a tiger. It's a girl, and but she's almost 10 years now. But she's part of the family, and the kids love her.
That's great. Thank you so much, Hans Martin, for taking time to record this interview. Have a great day and stay safe.
You're very welcome. You too. Bye-bye, Sanjay. Bye.
Okay, there's Sanjay Gangalom from AECCafé.